What's good, you guys? It's your boy Wolfie. We got two new patches today. We got the 7.9 and the 7.10 patch. We're going to go over every single change. I'm going to go over which ones I think are going to actually have an effect on the game, which are placebos, which I think hit the mark design-wise, and where I think that the developers can improve on their changes. So let's just go right into it, right? First up, we got the skins. We know high-res skins are always on point. They do very good. Easily the best Bakasura skin, no question. Just move on forward, right? So as we know, Amaterasu has been overperforming. She's been doing really good. She's one of the best late game warriors in the game by far. We already know why. It doesn't even matter. She's great. The problem is that her early game is fantastic right now. She dominates lane. She has great laning phase. She's considered top 3 solo lanes easy. Do these changes fix that? No. You don't level Glorious Charge first, and Dazzling Offensive is mainly done for the CC. It does good damage, which is great, but it's mainly done for the CC. You don't even level it early. I mean, you don't put extra points into it early. I don't think this is going to change her. She's still going to be a dominant force late game. All this is going to do is going to see that 1 or 2 times where someone got away with 10 HP, and you're going to be like, oh, that was the nerf. I'm going to be honest, this doesn't do anything. I think completely misses the mark. If they really wanted to mess with Amaterasu and they really wanted to fix her early game so she wasn't so strong early game and she transitioned into a strong late game character, they would have to hit her 2 or they would have to hit her passive. And I don't mean her 1, I mean her actual passive. Until they do that, she is going to dominate the laning phase because of the way the meta has shifted into less of a sustain in solo lane and more of just a bully. She just fits this meta really well. It is what it is. She's not going anywhere, which is great for people who like to play Amaterasu, terrible for people who don't, and even worse for us mages who just get charged by her all the time. Next, we have Cthulhu. This change is also another situation where I think it's just a placebo effect. It's not going to change anything. You might see that one person get away with 10 HP and you'd be like, damn, that was the nerf. But that's about it. I don't think it's really going to do anything. He's still going to dive into your backline. He's still going to use his ult. It's still going to be unkillable. They really, really wanted to hit this character, and they wanted to give it some counterplay and not have to make him hit like a feather and still keep him as the big bad that he is. They need to add some sort of negative to his ult. And I think the best way to look at it is how they handled Jorm. Jorm can't be knocked up, but if you hit him with a knockup, he takes extra damage. We need something like that on Cthulhu while he's in his ult. His ult isn't the problem that he's in there for 16 seconds, is that we can't do anything to him for 16 seconds. Give me something to do to him. Make CCs slow him, or make CCs give him cooldown. Like, you hit him with a CC, one of his abilities randomly goes on cooldown or something. Or you hit him with an ability, randomly he takes 20% more damage. Or just something in that nature that allows me, that gives me player interaction to counterplay this character. His kit is just really good. And you're either going to over nerf him or he's going to stay in the same position that he's in. That's my opinion on it. Give me some sort of counterplay. You've already done it on other characters. Let's do it to Cthulhu also. This change doesn't do anything. If you played Cthulhu, still play Cthulhu. This ain't even a change. It's not even a change. This don't affect you. Don't even worry about this. This is just flavor text. I'm gonna be completely honest. He's a bully, has a great team fight ult, and now has amazing clear, sustain, and escape. Solid character, just really good. Cupid lovers keep playing Cupid. It's not changing the meta or where he's valued to pick at all. Freya, this is a good change. I mean, her ult does hit too hard for how much damage she does, but the problem is that Freya's not going to drop off. Whenever she's viable and has a viable item build pass, she just becomes top hunter in the game. And the reason that it's like that is because she literally gets 160 free damage when she pops her 1 and her 2. It's too much free power. If you gave any hunter in the game 160 free power off just two abilities as a steroid, it's going to be busted. One of those abilities has to change, if not both. Do something creative. Instead of her just giving her straight damage with her 1 and 2, give her like attack speed, move speed, something different that's not just flat damage. They're nerfing the things on her that make her kind of cool. Her ult's kind of cool to look at, and visually when watching a competitive game, it's cool to look at. I would rather her do a lot of damage from her ult than just get 160 free damage. That also scales with her magic power. It becomes some ridiculous number that jumps up to like 300 and something at full build. It's silly. She starts swinging for 600-700 a swing. That's not okay. Take away those steroids. Give her something else. Give her an actual ability. I don't know anything. But those two steroids combined are too high. Until those two steroids get adjusted and not just be flat damage increase, maybe you'll be able to balance the character. She's just a flawed design and a problematic design with the way that she is now. Change your mentality on her. Hun Batz. This character, in my opinion, never left the meta. I was saying it before they even changed him. I was like, hey, I don't think he's left. I think it was a placebo effect and it just scared people off. Because you can get full 40% CDR in 4 items. Well, 3 items and boots. So, I don't think he ever left. I think people just stopped playing him off the placebo effect. And then once Adapting figured out that you could play him again, he just jumped back in like that. People started playing him again in ranked. They picked him like 7 times in the SPL in the span of like 3 weeks. Huge character. That ult will forever be ridiculous. And nerfing the ult's cooldown isn't the option to do it. You're going to have to find something else. Probably going to have to find something else to nerf him with. Giant AoE CC ult is always going to be viable. Especially when I can get 40% CDR in a couple items. Just is what it is. Unless they love to cooldown the beads and then, well, buff the cooldown for beads. Beyond that, that's my opinion on that. Keep playing Hun Batz. That change ain't nothing. Trust me. They could make that 140 seconds. It would probably still be good. This ain't gonna do anything to Rama. Rama's ridiculous. Rama's only weakness before was that he had to use his arrows on the purple camp. They buffed him and people started using Hog, and he was, if they didn't buff Rama before, he would have jumped in the meta. Because that was the only thing holding him back, was having to use arrows on the purple buff. Promise you. This character's still going to be there. If you play Rama on your ADC, don't worry about it. Hunter hasn't changed at all this patch. Same picks. Next. I don't know how to nerf Rama, by the way. That character's just perfect. It's ridiculous. 7.10 patch. Right? Go straight down. Skin's on point. Don't gotta talk about it. Right? We know this. This is probably my favorite skin. I don't know why. I think this skin is cool. Even though I'm more of a Ra player than I am... Ooh, this is the Discordia skin. I take it back. Discordia skin's the best. Alright, so Loki rework. We'll do this on another video. He's basically changing. Long story short, he's going to, instead of being extremely burst damage, his ability's going to have a little bit delay and counterplay on them. Emphasis on counterplay. Thank you. Alright, yada, yada, yada. Bug fixes, visually stuff. Cool. Awesome. I like this. I like it when you can actually see things. All right, so now we got balance patches, right? I think this is good. This item is definitely too strong. I don't want to make it bad. I actually like this item on ADCs, even when playing against it. I think this is a cool item. I don't like the passive. I think the passive is silly. But I do like the build path. I do like where it fits. As a person who played a few ADCs for here and there and even played them in the middle, I like it. I like it more than I like the Executioner. So I like the item. I kind of don't like the passive. It kind of feels a little too snowbally. Once you get the ball rolling for the first kill, which is just rolls on through. Not a big fan, but everything else in the item is good. I would like to see more changes to the passive and less changes to the actual item itself, but attack speed's a little too high on every item for Hunter right now, so This is perfectly fine for me. I completely agree with this. You're still gonna buy it every game, so it's fine. You're still gonna buy this every fucking game. This item right here is busted. This is what makes the whole build fall together. You're still buying it every game. So you lost a total of like 10% attack speed. Yeah, I'll be fine. Y'all attack 0.1% slower, whatever. Gives a fuck. Next, Gladiator shield rework. This is huge and I'm scared about it. I am not looking forward to Sun Wukong cudgeling me in the face for like 800 damage. I'm terrified of this. This is a ridiculous buff. This looks strong as hell. Oh my goodness. I already think that this item is underrated. This will probably change the build meta. Will not be surprised. You'll start seeing this on solo warriors. Support warriors. My bad. Support warriors. This is scary. Scary. Good item. Fun item to use. This is what makes it feel weird to me because it's going to have performance issues because you either hit somebody that's at 60% or you don't, right? So it's not going to look immediately good, but the people who know how to finish fights off, this is going to be scary. Watch out for this one. This isn't going to change much. I think this is good anyway. I think people should pick this up when you know you're going to siege or you know you have to defend, even though people don't. It's a very, very, very situational item. And if you want to know when to pick it up, if you have to back and you just finished taking all the tier 2s and you know you're going to siege, let's say you have a team fight and you just killed Fire Giant and you know your team's going to siege the enemy Phoenixes, or you know they're going to siege your Phoenixes and you need that extra oomph. This is a good item for that. But it's very situational and you have to get in those perfect Exodia situations where it works. This change isn't really going to change that, but I think it's going to start making people think about it more, which is a good thing. Hide Anemia line. I don't like this item. I think the block stacks are fine. I don't like that they're just on timer. I would rather they have some sort of thing to it, right? Where it could play sort of like Gladiator Shield, where every time you land an ability, you get a stack, and it can have a cooldown, like a 10-second cooldown or something on it. So you just don't just get like 6 stacks right off. But I would like to see it have interaction. Does that make any sense? I don't want it to just be passive. I want to do something for it. Like if I land an auto attack, I want it to like give me a stack. You know what I mean? I would much rather see that. That also being said, that brings me up to a topic for before, right? Where I would love to see blessings evolve into items, right? So like you don't sell your blessing because it feels horrible to sell your blessings late game, in my opinion. And I think it'd be really cool if you can fuse them into certain items. And I think Hide Anemia line would make a perfect example of like Warrior's Blessing evolving, right? Where you have Warrior's Blessing fully stacked, and if you buy Hide Anemia, they kind of just like Dragon Ball Fusion dance and become Warrior's Blessing Hide Anemia, where the passive from Warrior's Blessing turns into every time you hit somebody with the passive, instead of doing the true damage and everything, you get a block stack, right? That would be cool. That's just an idea I have. If one of the devs hear it, by all means take it, whatever, moving on, right? Then we got Anhur. Anhur and Apollo are getting a very similar buff. They're older characters, so their kits are kind of dated, and their travel time is kind of dated, so they're upping that to make them faster and feel more responsive. I love that. Those are good changes. Those are very strong changes, but they're not damage changes. I love it. I think it's good. The characters will feel better. I like changes like this. Good job. Is it going to make them pickable? I don't know. That's up for the people to find out. Better hunters will be able to tell you that better than I will, but cool. I like these changes. Ares, another good change. Makes his 2 feel more impactful. When it doesn't feel impactful, it having a heal will give him more utility when it comes to playing in lane, which Ares doesn't have a lot of utility. He either kills you or he doesn't. So just adding more utility to him is cool. I do think his bolster defenses is his most boring ability. Now I'd like to see more interaction around his bolster defense rather than it just be bolstering defenses. But this feels better from what I can see. Good change, not opposed. Got to be careful. He snowballs pretty hard though. RDO, good change if they really want to make her meta. What makes her meta is being able to survive through heals. Back in the day when everybody remembers RDO as being OP, nobody knew what was making her so strong. People didn't know because they didn't have the numbers, because nothing in game tells you this stat. But RDO had top 3 self-healing in the game, including healers, when she was released. What actually took her out of the meta is when they nerfed her self-healing. That's what brought her behind, because she couldn't survive anymore. So between burst meta, high damage, and then her not being able to heal anymore and anti-heal becoming so much better, she fell off. But if they really want her to come back, this is the way to make her come back. It's a good change for her to bring her to the meta, but they got to be careful. She's very oppressive when she becomes meta, and I think she's going to become more of a solo lane, not a support. They want her to be a support, but I don't think it's going to make her a support. If they want to make her a support, I say it again, if they want to make her a support, increase her team healing or her hunter's healing, right? Make that better and you will have her on support. Just making her self-healing is just going to put her in the solo lane. I feel like they're trying to force him in the mid lane, and he's not a mid lane character. He's a support and a solo. Build him around support and solo. You just got to get over the fact that he's not a middle character. Just accept it and make him like Hades. That's it. There's no way around it. This is just a placebo effect. It's not really going to change much. I like these changes, but none of these changes fix Fenrir. It's just going to make him a scarier duo lane. Fenrir's problem isn't that he falls off. Fenrir's problem isn't that he doesn't do enough damage. Fenrir's problem isn't any of that stuff. Fenrir's problem is that he has to sit there and jump into damage and do damage over time. And as you know, he doesn't live long enough to do that unless he's full tank. This isn't going to help him. You want to make him stronger, make him more tanky when he's diving someone. He's one of the only assassins that has to stay in to do damage. His brutalize has to go fully through for it to do damage. Doesn't work. This is only going to make him a scarier support. Actually, a good change. This might actually make Hachiman's 1 a viable skill to level. Good change. I liked it. I always hated this. I thought this was so silly. I never liked it at all. This is perfectly fine. This might be what puts Hachiman into the higher echelon of hunters in priority for competitive games and for better players. So good job on this change. I like this change. Didn't even see it coming, but kudos. Is awesome. I like this. Might change the build path and everything. I love it. Osiris kind of fell off since the heal, but I don't know. There's just something about him that feels off. I kind of like this. This feels way better. It always felt weird. I think this will be a nice change, but I don't know. This isn't going to do anything. I don't really care about this. This might just not be his meta. I just don't think this is his season. He might just have to wait until another season. His kit isn't bad. It just doesn't fit the current play style of the game. That's okay. Some characters fall off some seasons and they come back another season. Don't force him into the game, because the moment the meta changes for the new season and he is meta, he's just going to completely break it. I feel like let him warm the bench for a while. I think it's okay for him to warm the bench. The bench needs some warming, and Osiris got some cheeks to warm it. Let him chill there, in my opinion, but whatever. Yeah. We don't need this character back. I don't like this. I think she has enough CC and everything. She doesn't need this. I don't think she's a bad character at all, and I really don't want them to force her as the top pick again just for the sake of being the top pick again. We see this character as a top pick literally almost every season, And every season she becomes a top pick. She starts getting played in support also, and they have to nerf her. And it's just like, why do you guys keep doing the same thing back and forth? Just find a way to make her work better. You guys, it's always like first 6 months we're nerfing her, the next 6 months we're buffing her, then we just go back and forth. For someone in the dev team has a hard on for Saket, I guess. I don't know. It is what it is. I feel like they keep on trying to make his ult uncounterable because someone really wants his ult to be uncounterable. But every time someone finds a counter to his ult, they just want to buff him, and then he gets over like too strong, then they have to nerf him. This is another one of those characters that just feels obnoxiously oppressive when it works. And the only thing holding him back right now is Cursed Ankh. I don't know. I don't think this is like a good change. This character's too oppressive when he's good. It's one of those things. Is this going to make him viable? Is this going to put him on the meta? I don't know. I hope it's not. It's not really fun to play against. But it's definitely someone to look at or look into. Anyway, guys, that's the end. We went through all the patch notes. That's how we really feel. If you guys enjoyed the video, please hit that subscribe button and that like button. If you would like more, let me know. If you got any opinions on it, drop the comments below. Let me know. Yeah, and we'll see you guys later. Thank y'all very much for watching. I'll be streaming tonight.